Hey guys, we're joined today by a very special young lady. She's just getting into self-development and paving her way through seminars, writing articles, and a lot of really exciting stuff coming up. Um, Today we're going to be going through just a bit of background history and just sort of exploring the conversation around social dynamics, as well as just a couple other fields that come up along the way. So I'd like to introduce to you Jasmine Watson.
Hi.
How are you doing today, Jasmine?
I'm good.
Sure, as. Would you like to tell us a bit about yourself?
So I am 15 years old. I'm still in high school, and earlier this year I decided to start building my career and writing articles for my website. And I'm starting to do more interviews, start talking to people, and sort of building my reputation, expanding upon my knowledge.
Yeah, awesome. What led you into this sort of pathway of life? This is a very unique sort of path you're traveling.
Well, I've always been interested in psychology as when I was younger, and struggling with my mental health in the past really got me into it, and I wanted to help other people. So as I got older, I started expanding upon my knowledge and finding new areas like neuroscience, biochemistry, and of course still psychology. And now I really want to expand my career into those areas and just kind of see where my life takes me.
Yeah, cool. So in that sort of starting part, you got into psychology, you said you're struggling with mental health there. Which one sort of came first? Was it the struggle with mental health that got you into psychology, or do you get into psychology and then start to self-reflect?
I think, I'm not sure exactly when it started, but I have always been into helping people even before I even considered psychology as a future career. So I guess it came from that, and I've always been pretty good at giving advice to my friends and helping people like that. So psychology just kind of seemed like the right path for me, and now that I'm older, I definitely see it as something that I should and want to be doing when I'm older.
Yeah, that's very awesome. Can you tell us a bit about some of the things you struggle with, like on the mental health side? Would you feel comfortable talking about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I struggled with, I was really low at some point a couple years ago, and I was self-harming myself. I felt a lot of dissatisfaction of life and the way that I was living and what I perceived my future was going to be, aka just living a boring life, paycheck to paycheck. But now I kind of see that that's not how I want to choose to live my life, and I can live it differently.
Very cool. What sort of started to make that change for you? That's a pretty big shift in your perception.
So last year I started reading Dr. Joe Dispenza's book, Becoming Supernatural, and it was a real eye-opener for me because I realized that there were more fields out there like neuroscience and biochemistry and quantum physics, not just psychology. And it made me realize that there are ways that I can do it differently, and there are ways that I can change and evolve as a person. So I think my journey kind of getting out of that headspace of living like I was bound by my circumstances in life, and for now just being able to realize that I'm the creator of my life and that I get to make the choices for what I want my life to be like.
That's pretty awesome. Wow. So your struggles with mental health sound like it went to a fairly sort of strong place there. What was that sort of like for you? Was that going to depression, or what was that feeling like inside?
So I've never been actually diagnosed with anything, but for me it kind of felt like pressure waves, and there were times where I would feel extremely low, and there were times where I would sort of be more energetic and like myself, still talking to my friends and family and laughing. And it just kind of came in waves where I wouldn't expect it. And sometimes, I guess normally, I would be more energetic at the start of the day, and as it got to the end of the day, I started feeling really low, and I started to isolate myself from others. And along the way, I was harming myself throughout that as well.
How did that make you think? Like, what kind of thoughts were going through your mind while this was going on?
I guess I didn't really have many thoughts when I was feeling really low, because for me, that feeling didn't really come from a specific place or something that happened to make me feel like that. It just kind of came out of nowhere. So for me, it felt like emptiness, and that I wasn't really thinking. I was just kind of in my head, away from the world. Yeah.
Yeah, if you were to describe like the awareness and kind of things that you're perceiving going on, would you be able to put some words to that?
I guess it was kind of like staring into the abyss.
Yeah, fair enough. And like, because this is going on through school, so through like year 5 to 9, right?
Yeah.
And how did that start to play out in your social life and like with your friends, with teachers?
Yeah, so my teachers never really knew about any of this. I did start going to the school counsellor when I was in grade 6, but other than that, I don't think any of my teachers really knew what was really going on with me.
And the counselling, did that help at all?
Not really, because it was only a few sessions, and we didn't really get to any depth of trying to figure out why I was doing it and how I could stop it.
Fair enough. So from there, like into like during class and in what they call break times, what was that experience like for you? Like hanging around friends where you said mentioned you weren't talking to them, and it's like you felt like a isolation from them.
There were moments when my friends would sometimes ask me, like, "Are you okay? What's going on?" And of course, at that point, I was just brushing it off and telling them I'm okay. We both knew. I guess I could tell that they knew that something was definitely going on with me, but it sort of felt like they didn't know how to handle it, and of course they wouldn't, because we were all children. But they just felt like giving me my space would have been better off like that way, and I just kind of kept myself.
Yeah, fair enough. It sounds like it's very confusing, very sort of unsure, and like you're saying, staring into the abyss.
Yeah, I definitely didn't fully understand what was going on with myself as that whole thing was going on.
Where did that start to change you? So as you sort of got a bit older, was it sort of year 9, 10 where you started to find that new path? Started to find the difference?
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know exactly where it started, but I do remember the first day of grade 9. So before grade 9, when it was the end of grade 8 and we were on school holidays, I think it was around that time, I was at the lowest point of my life, because grade 8 was the lowest, and I was at a point where I physically told myself, if I just keep my head down, don't talk to many people, just keep to myself, keep my grades up, I'll be fine. And then it came to grade 9 on the first day, and I remember I was really energetic, and I was talking to my friends, and we were all fighting for the back row seat in class in the morning.
Yeah.
And I guess from there, I started getting a bit better every day, and started realizing that I can be happy, and it's coming in my life for me, and it's time.
Was that, do you find that sort of starting to get better every day? Was that from the spending more, opening up to more people, or was that from studies that you've done, or what was some of like the main experiences that had started to change that for you?
I'm not sure what experiences there were at that point, but a couple months later, I think it was May of that year, that's when I found Dr. Joe Dispenza's book, Becoming Supernatural, and when I was halfway through reading that, I started to go to events, like self-help events, and I started to talk to more people, expanding upon my knowledge and researching and learning more about myself and what I was going through, and it's just got better for me.
That's good. Do you recall any of the conversations from those events?
I didn't talk to many people at that event, but I definitely began opening up to more people and my friends and family.
Sounds like there's like having that space to share your experience with other people and talk about what you've been through. That sort of was that what helped you through it a bit?
I think so, yeah. I think it's really important, especially as a kid, to have conversations with people that you love in your life who may not understand what you're going through. Even if they don't understand what you're going through because they've never been through it, they are always there to support you. And even if it doesn't feel like it, you have to kind of try.
Yeah, fair. That's really, really wise advice. Your parents, what can you tell me a bit about your sort of mum and dad?
My mum, she's a bit on the stricter side than my dad, but she's always loved and supported me, even if she didn't really understand what I was going through. And my dad, he's always supported me and loved me, and I'm really grateful for him because he allows me to go to those kind of events and develop myself and kind of become an adult on my own terms and learn more about the world on my own.
That's really awesome. Yeah. When you were sort of growing up, because you mentioned that you'd spent separated times with them, was that right from the early beginnings? Were they together from this, when you were young and split apart from there, or were they always separate?
Yeah, they were together when I was younger, and it was about grade 3 when they split up, and they never actually divorced, but they are separated and they live in different houses, so I see them both at different times during the week.
Do you remember much from when you were sort of under 8, so when they were both together?
I do, and there were a few memories, but it was quite a while ago, so I don't remember much, but at that point when I was really young, I was a very energetic and extroverted kid back then.
Right. Do you think that had an effect on the sort of mental change, the experience change?
I don't think so, because I've always respected both of my parents as individuals on their own, and I kind of understand where both of them is coming from, and I guess I can still love my parents and be loved by them without them loving each other romantically, because they still respect each other and they still work together to co-parent me.
That's really awesome. That experience though, seeing them go this, not being in the same place from there, so they've been in separate places, and it sounds like they're still they're doing their best by you and still trying to give you the best of their parenting that they can. But did you notice any changes as they sort of moved apart in both in yourself as well as in your conversations with them?
I guess it did open me up to a different view of my parents, especially since I was growing up in age as well, and I learned to see that they weren't perfect, they were just human, and I've learned to understand them as individuals by themselves.
Right. There's a couple of questions I want to go into there, but I might leave those at the moment. But why don't we go back to these ones? One of the things that you mentioned in your sort of pre-write, that you'd always been looking for a plan for life. Do you remember how young you were when you started looking for, like, what should I do in life?
I guess it was about grade 5 or 6, because that was when I started, I suppose, getting interested in psychology, and although I knew that it wasn't exactly the right path for me, because I did want more than, for example, being a clinical psychologist and just sitting in a office all day talking to clients. I knew I wanted more than that. But at that point...
Can you tell me more about that?
Well, I guess I wanted more than just seeing clients and doing paperwork. I wanted a career where I could make real change, because coming from my own mental health, I didn't want anyone else to feel that way, and I wanted to support people. And I didn't just want to support people, a few people who came to me. I wanted to support more people across the world.
What does that look like to you?
I guess it's sort of the career that I'm coming into now, which is becoming more of a public figure, speaking to people, writing, maybe coaching them in the future as well, and researching them, not researching the people, researching science, because I am interested in like neuroscience and psychology, and just showing people real evidence and the science behind how they feel and how they can change that.
Right. It sounds like that sort of whole experience had a fairly big impact on you, both in seeing what it's like going through that sort of darkness, and then how you've been able to pull yourself out of it. So it sounds like essentially haven't really had much outside influence to sort of guide you out of it. You've had to create that own path for yourself, which is quite a rare thing. Like there's not many people I've seen have been able to make their way out with the other side without sort of a lot of external help and without a lot of influence. So in that sort of journey that you're going through now, with starting to share your experiences, starting to share your stories and articles with people, what's the main things that you're trying to share? What's the messages and insights that you're trying to give people?
I suppose something that really fascinates me is perspective. It's always been really interesting to me how someone can be, for example, given the same stimulus or thing and see different things out of it, like seeing an image and interpreting different things. So I want to teach people and help them understand that there are different ways that you can view life and everything in it, and there are different ways that you can do things, not just the way that you think you have to do it.
Can you recall any moments where you've had like a big change of perspective?
I can't remember a specific moment, but I suppose I've learned to kind of see life, and more specifically working, for example, as not something that you have to work 9 to 5 for and live paycheck to paycheck. You can create your career and you can make money out of it, and there are endless ways that you can make money without feeling like your soul is being ripped out every time you go to work and not enjoying the work that you do.
Sounds like career is a really sort of important like focal area for you. What's that meaning to you?
I suppose I've learned about the difference between a job and a career in school, because at my school they do a student development program where we do 1 lesson a week and learn something to develop us. Like lately we've been talking about picking our subjects for next year and trying to figure out what career we want to go into. So one of the things that they taught us recently was the difference between a job and a career. And a job could be something like working at Kmart or Coles, something to earn money doing. But a career is a lifelong ambition. And I want people to understand that you can have your lifelong ambition, what you really want to do as a career, and make money off of it.
Right, yeah. How do you feel like you've made that type of distinction within yourself? So it sounds like you just sort of found psychology and it's something that sort of made you very interested in it. But you've also made a strong distinction that wasn't the right sort of path for you. There was something more to it, even if it wasn't clear what it was yet. Is there any sort of moments that started to highlight that for you, or make that sort of obvious to you?
I guess when I was reading the book Becoming Supernatural, it kind of became obvious to me that there was something that I could do differently other than psychology. And for me now, it doesn't worry me how much money I make when I'm older, because the job that I want, the career that I want, and my ambition is not something that I can just find searching through the Seek app. It's not a job that you just apply for. It's a job that I'm creating and that I want to do.
So like you've built a path through, so you've gone through this fairly dark struggle. And as you sort of come out the other side, you've seen like your own pathway to help other people in it. But it's like that, the suffering that you've gone through in that, it's almost created your destiny, your motive and purpose in life, in a way. And by finding Dr. learned to speak English again, Dr. Joe Dispenza's book, that's almost created a vision for where you could go, and a sort of inspiration to what it might look like. And then from there, you're sort of paving your own individual path for it. Is that sound about right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of all expanding from the core reason and aspect of what I want to do when I'm older, which is just helping people. And the things that I do around that doesn't have to be a set thing. It's just something that I'm creating along the way to help me get there.
Fair enough. Do you have any direct goals while you're sort of on that path?
I do have some specific goals which are very ambitious. Some of the specific goals that I have is I'm 15 now, so I would like to be on national TV by the time I turn 16.
Wow.
And have 50,000 followers on Instagram by I'm 18.
Wow. Cool.
Yeah, very big, but I know someone in my grade who has a lot more followers than that, so I think it's very possible.
Yeah, I believe it. Like seeing the sort of changes that you've gone through since Miroslav's event, it's and just some of the articles and things that you've written, you've got immense potential to get there, and I think you'll probably even knock yourself out with that. Like you go well past that. So I have no doubt that. Very cool. And like from your website and what we've sort of talked about a few times, the messages that you want to share sort of pivot around self-belief, gratitude and motivation. Would you be able to talk on that a bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So self-belief and thoughts are something that I heavily focus on as what I believe in and what I want to teach other people. Because if you don't believe in yourself, then who else is going to believe in you? Because there are endless people around you and me, even I've experienced it, of people who don't understand what you're doing, people who don't get you, people who don't believe in what you're doing. But if you have self-belief, that's the only motivation that's going to get you there. Because that's what's going to motivate you to put in the effort to get there. And if you don't have that, then you're just not going to get anywhere.
That's a fair point. How have you sort of started to find that self-belief? You seem to have quite a lot of it.
Yeah. I guess for me, my motivation is helping people, and I believe that I can do that in the future. And it essentially doesn't really matter what I do, because I know I'm going to get there, and I don't have an exact plan of how I'm going to get there, but my belief allows me to create it along the way.
It's almost like by focusing, the more you focus on other people, the more self-belief you have.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's not just something for me, it's bigger than that. It's for the world. It's for future generations to come. I want to make a really big impact on people.
Gotcha. And the other two areas around gratitude and motivation, are you able to speak on those a bit more?
Absolutely. So gratitude is also really important, because you kind of have to be grateful for where you are in life and be grateful for where you're headed. Because if you kind of sit around you all day and say, this is not where I want to be, this is not getting me where I want to be, I don't like the environment that I'm in, I don't like the life that I'm living right now, then you could come to a point where you're never satisfied with what you have. And you have to be grateful for where you are today, in order to be grateful for where you will be in the future and the person that you will be in the future, because it's who you were in the past that inspired you to get there.
Yeah, good point. Is there any moments where you've seen that change in yourself, going from being in sort of those sort of dark moments, and where you started to find more gratitude in life in general?
I guess last year I did start doing affirmations, which really helped me, like writing down affirmations like I am smart, I'm beautiful, I can do this, just simple things like that. And it really helped me to be more self-confident and believe in myself more and be grateful for who I was in the past and everything that I've been through, because as we've established, it made a big impact on me and it got me where I am today.
Yeah. Did you learn that from books or seminars, or was that something that where did you sort of discover that or start to sort of find your way into it?
I guess I did learn that from some books that I read, but I guess it also came from just the realization of its common sense and just how important it is in everyday life.
Are you able to speak more around that? Because that's, you've got an interesting way of thinking there. There's a lot of people I met that they come to very different conclusions there, but your perspective and perception around that seems to keeps drawing back to very sort of positive lines. Do you feel that comes from your parents, or is there like something that you think about a lot, or a way that you think a lot of the time that sort of draws that out of you?
I guess it has come from the people around me, but in a way that I've seen how detrimental it can be when you don't believe in yourself and when you don't have that gratitude in your life. And it made me kind of realize just how important it is.
Would you say you watch your thoughts a lot? Or engage with them, or more aware of them?
I am definitely more aware of my thoughts now. I guess it's really important for me to think positively as much as I can, because there are still moments in my life, of course, when I feel a bit of pressure and I feel like I might be starting to feel low again. But self-awareness is really important, because you kind of have to bring yourself back to be the person that you want to be. And the person that I want to be is better. I want to be more positive. I want to help people. And the only way I'm going to get there is if I firsthand show people that it's possible.
Yeah, 50,000 subscribers. Very cool. And the other side of motivation, are you able to speak on that a bit more?
Absolutely. So as I've said, my motivation is helping other people, and I guess that driving force of people all around the world just being able to come together and be positive and live the lives that they want, that's going to make a better life, a better future for people in the present now and future generations to come. So I guess my motivation is what I'm doing in the present, what I'm doing in the future, and what is going to happen because I'm doing it now.
Very cool. Bit of a side question, but how do you find your conversations have changed as you've gone into this pathway?
As now I'm speaking in my first podcast / interview or whatever you want to call it, but I definitely think my conversations have changed a lot, because I do consider myself as more of an introvert, but I absolutely love having wise and deep conversations with people, even if it's just a stranger. And it doesn't matter who that person is, because I love talking about things that I love, and it's important to me that I do that. Yeah,
sure. Is there any other areas like that you are particularly interested in? Any other what do you call them? Like just like hobby, passion areas that you sort of take interest in? Like outside of psychology and outside of the sort of pathway that you're on. So you mentioned before about singing, theatre.
Yeah, I love musical theatre and acting, but the main thing that I love the most is singing. And I do it all around the house, all the time. Oh my gosh, my mum must be so annoyed at me, and the neighbours too. But but I love singing wherever I am. Like even if it's just singing under my breath in public spaces, I absolutely love it.
Right. What kind of songs do you usually find yourself singing?
Well, my favorite artist is Melanie Martinez.
Right.
Oh my god, my friends watching this are gonna be like, no way she mentioned that.
Cool.
I'm so excited because, bit of a side note, but I've got tickets to her concert next year. She's coming to Brisbane, and I'm so excited. I got VIP tickets.
Cool.
But anyways, yeah, I love music, all types of music, but I guess honestly I listen to the same music every single day and I never get bored of it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I guess kind of chill music, really good instrumentals. I don't really listen to rap much.
Okay.
But
Don't get into the beats.
yeah. Unless I'm rapping Hamilton.
Fair call. Yeah.
But yeah.
So on stage plays and theatres, it's rapping's acceptable there.
Yeah, I
Gotcha.
love music.
Mm.
I'm listening to music. I joined the choir this year,
Cool.
but
Awesome.
I can't read sheet music. Like one time in choir, the teacher was like, "Trust in your abilities to read sheet music." And I was looking at the booklet, at these notes, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just kind of copying what everyone else is singing.
Yeah.
But anyways, I love music.
Strong crowd. Do you prefer singing in like the choir groups or by yourself?
I do prefer it by myself. I mean, that's the only reason why I did join choir, because I like singing myself, even if I don't know how to read sheet music.
Yeah.
But I guess it's always just been like a hobby for me, a bit of a passion on the side that I really enjoy doing.
Cool. Regain composure.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, Melanie Martinez, what's your favourite song by her?
Oh god, I can't choose.
Pick your favourite child.
I can't choose, but her music just gets better every album. So I love her classics from ever since she released her first album, but I love her new album because it came out. Now I'm obsessed with it. And I love her last album as well, After School EP. She's got great music on there. I really like Numbers from the After School EP, and Brain and Heart, and Glue, and all of them. Yeah, just all of them. If I could name all of them, I would.
Yeah. Very cool. Do you find yourself singing a particular song quite often?
Not really, but I guess the main ones I've been singing lately from her new album Portals is The Contortionist, Battle of the Larynx, and Death is amazing, of course, the first song. Like, I know you don't even know what I'm talking about, do you?
A little bit, not actually.
Have you heard her music before?
A little bit of it, yeah.
Oh, what songs?
No, you test me. I probably can't name any other songs, but yeah. If I heard them, yeah, probably able to put names to them, but I'll do my research for next time.
Yeah.
After you've done your TV appearance, I'll do it.
Start listening down all of her albums.
Yeah. Cool. And in this like theatre play area, because you mentioned you had like some when you were so young, you had dreams to be on in theatre and act and play on theatre stage. Can you tell me a bit about that too?
Well, I just love the emotion that goes behind singing, because I guess some people express themselves in different ways. Like, I know people like singing, dancing, art, all those kind of art forms is how how people really like to express themselves, and the emotion behind it is what drives that. And for me, that's kind of what singing's like, because there are deep meanings behind the lyrics, and there are different ways that you can sing it and express yourself through that. So I've always, I guess, loved musical theatre because, one, it's so catchy. How could you not love it? And just the emotion and the stories that they tell behind it is just so fascinating. So
Yeah.
I guess when I was younger, that was an option for me that I would be interested in doing, because it's just so fun.
Okay. Going to live TV and having your social media ones, you might find yourself there.
Yeah, I actually, when I was starting planning kind of how I wanted to build my reputation online, as apart from writing articles and content creating online, but I planned that maybe I would do singing covers on YouTube as well as on the side. But yeah, I don't know, I probably won't do that.
Cool. I was going to say, might be able to give a preview to the audience now. We got spotted. Cool. We might wrap up there. Yeah, thank you very much for coming today. And yeah, great having a conversation with you. Very professional. Cool.